You know the drill. You see that little red notification bubble, you tap update, and maybe an hour later, your iPhone just feels a little bit newer. It's a process we do all the time, but behind that simple progress bar is one of the most complex, most expensive operations in the entire tech world. So what's really going on when you hit that button? Let's get into it. Because, you see, that software update is so much more than a collection of new features. It's actually a multi-billion-dollar strategic asset. It's the key that unlocks huge revenue streams, and it's the very engine that powers the whole Apple ecosystem. So in this explainer, we're going to peel back all the layers. We'll start with the shiny new features you can see, then we'll dig into the massive cost to build them. After that, we'll reveal how these updates actually drive Apple's profits, see where it's all going next, and finally, we'll ask that big question. Is your free update really free at all? Okay, let's kick things off with the familiar stuff. What did you actually get on your iPhone in this latest update? The update we're talking about is iOS 26.2, which rolled out on December 12th, 2025. Now, its main job was really to polish up that big liquid glass design that Apple introduced earlier, just making everything feel a bit smoother, a bit more responsive. And yeah, it came packed with some pretty useful tweaks. For all you music lovers, you can now get offline lyrics in Apple Music. If you're all about productivity, there is a new urgent alarm for reminders and even AI-generated chapters for podcasts, which is pretty cool. But honestly, the most crucial part was this. The update patched 26 different security vulnerabilities, some of which were already being exploited out in the wild. So this wasn't just about new toys, it was absolutely essential. All right, so a few new features, some security fixes. Seems pretty simple, right? Well, this is where the story takes a really fascinating turn. Let's talk about what this thing actually costs to make, the billion-dollar update. This number right here, this is the key to understanding everything, $34.55 billion. That is what Apple spent on research and development in the fiscal year ending in 2025. And a huge, huge portion of that massive R&D budget flows directly into your phone. It's what pays for the army of engineers, the custom chip designs, and the AI infrastructure that's needed to create, test, and deploy the very update you just downloaded, supposedly for free. And here's a big reason why that R&D number is so astronomical. Just look at these developer rates. Apple keeps its core OS development in places like the US, where a single top-tier engineer can cost over $250 an hour. Now multiply that by thousands of employees working all year long, and you start to get a sense of the sheer scale of this operation. So if the update costs billions to make, but you're not paying for it, how does Apple make its money back? Well, that brings us right to Apple's real profit engine. The answer is right here on this chart. While Apple makes good money selling iPhones, the real profit machine is its services division. We're talking about the App Store, iCloud, Apple Music, all of that. Hardware has a healthy margin, for sure, but services? They operate at a staggering 75% gross margin. Your software update is the delivery truck that gets you to use more and more of these incredibly profitable services. And the scale of this is just immense. In the fourth quarter of 2025 alone, that's just 3 months, that services segment brought in nearly $29 billion in revenue. Your free update is the gateway to this massive, recurring, high-margin revenue stream. But you know what? There's an even more direct financial link, and it's kind of hidden away in the accounting. It's a concept called deferred revenue. Think of it like this. When you buy an iPhone for, say, $1,000, Apple can't claim all that money as profit right away. Why not? Because part of that price is for the promise of future software updates. And in the eyes of accountants, that promise is basically a debt, a liability on their books that they have to deliver. So here's the crucial part. When you download iOS 26.2, you're essentially telling Apple, hey, you delivered on your promise. Your simple tap allows Apple to legally move a piece of its $9 billion deferred revenue from the liability column right over to the profit column. Your free update is literally helping Apple report its massive quarterly profits. Wild, right? And this isn't just a one-time trick. It's a continuous cycle that's always in motion. So let's move on and see how this whole thing builds. The future of iOS. So iOS 26.2 was really just one step. The next update, 26.3, is expected to finally bring end-to-end encryption to RCS messaging, which would close a major gap between iPhone and Android. And after that, the rumor mill points to iOS 26.4 delivering a massive redesign of the Health app powered by on-device AI. You see, each update builds on the last, adding more value and embedding you even deeper into the ecosystem, all of which keeps that profit engine running. Which brings us to our final section, where we put all these pieces together and ask the big question: is your update really free? Let's just recap the whole cycle. It starts when you buy the hardware. Apple then uses that capital to fund tens of billions in R&D. That R&D produces a quote-unquote free update, which gives you new features and critical security. Those features then make you more likely to pay for iCloud, subscribe to Apple Music, or buy apps, which feeds that 75% margin services business. And at the exact same time, your download allows Apple to turn a financial liability into recognized profit. So the next time you tap that update button, just think about this. Is that software a free bonus for your phone? Or could it be the most valuable, the most strategic, and maybe the most profitable product that Apple delivers, cleverly disguised as a simple download?